figured that I was going to answer my own question in my head. And the answer to that question of when do I take the thread out is I take it out when I feel like the locks have matured. So that's what I tried to do. And I tried to film a video of me taking the thread out, and there were a couple problems. Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl Lolo, and I'm back again with my tiny mic. And I'm coming to y'all today because I combined my locks about 8 months ago, and I made a video about it, and it was titled like combining my locks with thread, or like the easiest method to combine locks, whatever the video was. It was a good video at the time. However, I'm going to tell you why in this video it is not a good idea to combine your locks with thread. If you have a mind like mine, the way that it works is I just try stuff and it works. If it works, good. Then if it doesn't, then we have a problem. So a lot of the stuff that I do on my hair is like trial and error. I do not advocate for like looking at a lot of my videos as tutorials unless it like explicitly says tutorial. And I've combined my locks in multiple different ways. In this video, I'm gonna be telling my opinion on why on my hair, I don't think that it was a good idea. But you may have combined your locks with thread before. And I want to say if it worked for you, if it's working well for you, then congratulations, because there's different heads of hair. But I think there are just some things to be aware of and certainly to consider before you decide to do it. So like I said, I combined my locks about 8 months ago now, and I'll put the screenshot of the video right here. If you want to watch the video, then there's a card right here. I'll also put it at the end of the video. But I decided to combine my locks that time because I had already combined my locks before using the 2-strand twist method, and let's pull them out. Let's pull out the locks that I combined before. It was, where is it? Oh, here we go. It's this one, and I combined it as you can see, like as of right here all the way here, it is combined. So I basically started about here with the combination, but I did not use a needle, which I do have right here. This is like first of all, it's supposed to have 2 prongs on it, but it only has 1 because this is my brother's needle and he broke it. So it's supposed to have 2 prongs crochet needle, but it only has 1. I didn't use that because I was like, this thing looks, I can't pick it up. This thing looks so, I don't know, intimidating to me. So I didn't use it to thread the rest of, which one? The lock. During that time, I also did not care about having a 2-headed, I don't want to call it a dragon, like a two-header. That's what I'll say. I didn't really care about it having 2 heads, even though this was 2 locks, again, that I combined into 1. I just 2-strand twisted it. And for me, that was sufficient. I 2-strand twisted it and the ends just unraveled and I left it. So I combined other locks that aren't that one, and that time I decided to combine it using the threading method because I did not want a 2-header. I wanted 1 seamless lock. Plus there were some locks that just naturally wanted to marry around my head. Now there's multiple ways of combining locks. Again, there is the intimidating crochet needle that I don't think is that intimidating once I actually learned to use it. There's also, I guess, interlocking method where you can just use a larger crochet needle. Usually it's the crochet needle that you would use for like an actual crochet braids, or when you braid your hair and then crochet, the crochet hair onto it. You know what I'm talking about. That pink and yellow needle, whatever. So you could interlock it at the beginning of your roots and then have them lock like that, or you can 2-strand twist them, which is the method that I tried, or you can use thread. And I think that's about all the different methods that there are. So I decided to use thread because out of all those methods, it seemed like the least harmless method, right? I mean, all you have to do is put a needle and thread and then poke it through your locks. Now, a couple of you did comment and say, like, what's up with using thread? Like, is it good or bad? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna try it. And so I do think there are some things to watch out for. I don't see any videos on this. I literally did not know what to do after the thread was in. I didn't think that far. I just put the thread in and I was like, do I take it out? What's gonna happen if I keep it in? Is it gonna be healthy if I keep it in? What if my locks expand more, they mature more? You know, these are all valid questions that I did not find on the internet. So I'm gonna make a video about it. By the way, if you haven't liked this video or subscribed, what you doing? Give it a thumbs up because it's a good video already. All right, but I'm gonna get to it. So the first thing that I noticed, because I filmed a video trying to take the thread out of my hair. All right, so I filmed a video. I'm gonna show some clips throughout this video, but I figured that I was gonna answer my own question in my head, and the answer to that question of when do I take the thread out is I take it out when I feel like the locks have matured. So that's what I tried to do. And I tried to film a video of me taking the thread out, and there were a couple problems. Number one, which is probably like the biggest problem, is that your locks are always maturing. So, you know, the ends of your hair is the oldest, and surprisingly, I just randomly picked up a lock, and this is one of the locks that I combined with the thread and that I still have it in. But as you can see, this lock here is like toward the end. That end is like the oldest part of your hair, and you would think that this end part is kind of like done maturing, but it's not. Your locks expand every time you wash them. So what happens when you wash your hair is like your locks get a little bit more frizzy, just like loose natural hair gets frizzy when you wash it. That's why you have to detangle it and do all that other stuff. But when you have locks, you just wash, it gets frizzy, and that frizz, that extra fluffy part at the top, like all this, it gets frizzy so that it can lock better and that it can mature. So expanding is part of the absorption of water, kind of like a sponge. When you put water in a sponge, then the sponge absorbs and expands to retain the moisture. So your hair is trying to retain the moisture, and that is why washing your hair helps your hair lock faster anyways. Because of that frizz and that tangling that happens, if you have thread in your hair and your hair has not done maturing, then the thread can get tangled in your hair, like literally in your locks. Regardless of the fact that you actually punctured the thread through your locks, the thread is going to get tangled up in your locks as if the thread is part of your hair. So that makes it difficult to take out. Now, the reason why I took it out was because I was like, okay, well, I think that at this point, after 8 months, my locks have probably matured into each other and they've combined by themselves. So if I take the thread out, it'll be all good because my locks have already matured and meshed together. I think I was wrong, because what happened was I was trying to take the thread out and I used a little pinchy, what's that thing called? I used a little tweezer to try to get the thread out, and I found myself pulling on the thread in every which way, in every which direction to get the thread out of my locks because the thread is black. And my locks are not black, but they're brown. But it makes it even more difficult to see the thread if, number one, the thread is as thin as must be a strand of hair, and number two, the thread is a very close color to your hair. Now that's an advantage if you want to leave the thread in, but I'll give a couple reasons why I don't think that you should leave the thread in just a minute. But hey, have you all heard that I relaunched my Patreon? Yeah, so I have a Patreon channel, and the tier is called Crown Collective, and it's a place where you can find all of your lock journey essentials, whether you're in month 3 or year 3 of your lock journey. So I've opened up this Patreon for those of you all who are struggling to find a community in the lock journey, who values the spirituality of the lock journey and not just the physical aspect. I'll bring on experts on holistic hair care every single month to answer your questions. So it won't just be me, because sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about, obviously, because I make this video. But every single week, we'll also have a guided meditation. I'll guide you through those meditations. We'll talk about the crown chakra and the connection to your lock journey with your higher self. And I'll also provide exclusive discounts for you on Black-owned hair care brands and holistic care brands, just so that you can save money on essentials that you need to be happy, healthy, and thriving. So why not join the community? The Patreon link is in the pinned comment, or you can just go to my website, crowncollective.holisticfitmeditation.com. That's a really long name. So you can just go to the link in the pinned comment. And the first 15 of you all who join will get a free trial, 7 days. Why not join? You cut out all the fluff that you have here on YouTube with the ads and stuff like that. So you'll find exactly what you need. And by the way, if you still haven't liked this video, what you doing? Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let's get back into this video. So yeah, the main reasons why I realized in the middle of filming that video that I was like, why did I even put that thread in? Is that it gets stuck in your locks. So there's no point in taking it out. It is the same color as your hair, especially if your locks are dark brown or even black. And when I was pulling, trying to find out where the thread was interwoven into my locks, I was wondering, all this pulling is actually causing my locks to become unraveled. Not the individual lock, but I'm talking about these are combined locks. Look at this right here. You can see this lock right here. So you can see that this is a 2-strand twist that I twisted together, obviously, right? And the thread is still in this one. However, actually, is this the one I took the thread out? This is the one I actually got the thread out of. This is the only one. This is the one I was working on. So as you can see, I was pulling the thread from underneath here, and the thread, I had the tweezers, I was pulling it out. And as I'm pulling it out, I'm like, I'm literally disrupting the pattern of how this lock came seamlessly together. Right? So I was actually disrupting the locking process by pulling on the lock because I'm just disrupting it. And it was actually causing more damage than good. Because if I had the thread in there for 8 months in order for the hair to do its thing, then I'm actually disrupting the combination of the two locks by taking the thread out. So I'm like, I might as well have left it in. And that is why I only took the thread out of this one lock. And I had 3 more to go. I'm glad I didn't finish the 3 more. So it can cause damage, it can get stuck in your locks, and if you plan on taking the thread out at some point, it's probably already become a part of the lock by that point, and you might as well keep it in. And the last factor that may be in play, I don't know, because again, there's no other videos on the internet that I found. If you find them, let me know. Put it down in the comments. But the last factor that might be in play is because that thread is not a part of your hair. The thread itself is a little bit thicker. You know, you've seen weave thread before. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen. You've seen it before, and it's a little bit thicker than an actual strand of hair. It's a lot thicker than an actual strand of hair. Therefore, it holds more moisture for longer. So if you have multiple locks that you've combined with thread, what happens is that one lock that is now combined with the thread will take longer in itself to dry after your wash day. It's going to have a longer drying time, and because of that, there is the possibility that you could get buildup of mold in your locks, causing an extra smell that would not have been there if it was just your hair. And that's it. That's the video. So if you learned anything from this video, maybe if you have thread already in your locks from combined locks, maybe you take it out, maybe you leave it. I don't know. What do you think? What have you learned from this video? And leave that comment down below. Let me know how you've combined your locks. What other ways have you combined your locks? I may combine other locks. I may not. I don't really plan to right now, but who knows? Who knows what the plans are? And I hope to see you in the next video. Tell me what else videos you all would want from me. Do you want a part 2 or another wash day video that's coming up soon? And also next week on the 14th, the week after next actually, is my 3-year lock anniversary. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day. I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, peace.